Hey y'all, I'm Yasmin and welcome back to Relevant Resources. Today's topic is, should I get premarital counseling? My answer, yes. Yes, you should. And also, depending on where you are, I know where I live, if you get premarital counseling, when you get your marriage license, you get a discount. So, why should you get premarital counseling? Okay, so in my opinion, and I'm not married, but I have been in this whole counseling field for some time, right? So, what I will say is that I feel that sometimes when people get into relationships and or they're engaged, sometimes they're blinded by love. Getting premarital counseling will open your eyes to some things that you may have not considered being married. All right. And when I speak of marriage, I'm not just talking about man and woman. It could be man and man, woman and woman, whatever, your situation may be. So, um, I'm heterosexual and when I speak about marriage, sometimes I may say he, she, but that's not to offend anyone. I'm just used to those terms. Okay. So I just want to put that out there. I'm here for everybody. All right. And I treat everybody the same and equally. I'm just speaking. Okay. So let's talk about it. So one reason I recommend, premarital counseling is because finances, okay? Who makes the most money? How will your bills be managed? Um, are you all financially stable? I was engaged when I was about 21 years old. My boyfriend at the time was 19. I said, boy, this definitely is not the time. You still stay with your parents. I'm in college. I still stay with my parents. I'm commuting back and forth. Like, we are not stable. Now it's not the time. That's another thing, stability. Where will you all be living? Will you be living with each other? And somebody may say, What do you mean living with each other? Because sometimes before people get married, they live alone. They don't live together. So now is the point where now you'll be living with each other. And if your spouse is in the military, you may live one place and they may live another. Now, will that work for you? Will that living arrangement work for you? If you are from one country and then your spouse has to go live in another country for a few years, are you willing to go to another country? And this doesn't, this situation may not apply for everybody, but it is something to consider when you're getting married. Another one is children. Do you want to have children? Do you all want to adopt? Do you all want to have biological children? What if your partner is um, has fertility issues and cannot have children? What's your all's option? And child rearing. How one person grew up may not be how the other person grew up. For example, I was dating someone and we were talking about, children and child rearing and stuff. He was like, oh, he got hit with a shoe, he got hit with a belt, he got hit with an extension cord. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, that's giving abuse, right? And y'all know I work for CPS, so I don't really like hearing that. He's an adult, but that's what he experienced as a child. And I started thinking, I'm like, what if I have children with this man? I hope this lady don't think she could just beat my kids because it's a no. So back to, child rearing and discipline. Are your ways going to clash? Because me, I'm not hitting my child with anything. There are other ways to discipline your children. And then, what happens if either of you get down sick? What's the next steps? What's the next move? How are you all going to survive? Let's say, things don't work out and now you have children. Well, what is something that you all may consider? So, I mean, it's just a lot of different things that may go on in a marriage that people don't consider. Family vacations, managing the household. Are we going to clean the house or are we going to have a maid service come in or a cleaning service come in? Like, what's the next steps? Are we going to be available to raise our children? Or, maybe we should opt for a nanny. It's just so many different things to consider. So, y'all, I highly recommend getting premarital counseling, doing some research online to see what questions you may need to take in to your marriage counseling session. So, yeah, that's it. That's all, y'all. Bye.